Hi everyone, in this week's dispatch we're focusing on three pieces of legislation which will probably come into force over the next 2 or 3 years. All have received Royal Assent. The first being in relation to unpaid leave for carers. So this is the Carers Leave Act 2023, which will introduce a new statutory right of up to 1 week's unpaid leave for carers in England, Wales and Scotland. We expect this to come into force not before April 2024, but in essence, this carers leave will be available to employees from the start of their employment. They will be able to take leave to care for a spouse, partner, civil partner, child, parent, person who lives in the same household, or a person who reasonably relies on them. They would have to have a long-term care need, so that can be a long-term physical or mental impairment, a condition which falls under the Equality Act, or issues relating to old age, but there will be some exceptions as well, such as in the case of terminal illness. It can be used for providing care or making arrangements for the provision of care. An employee can self-certify their absence, so there's no need to arrange for any sort of medical intervention or certification. That leave can be taken flexibly, either in individual days or half days, up to a block of 1 working week. The employees have to give twice the length of notice as the leave to be taken, plus 1 day. The leave can be postponed but not denied in its entirety, and the employee will have protection from suffering detriment as a result of exercising the right to take that leave. So many of these provisions mirror what we have in the dependent leave legislation and also parental leave in terms of notice requirements, length of leave to be taken, that sort of thing. And as I say, we expect probably April 24 for that to come into effect. The next piece of legislation which has received Royal Assent is the Neonatal Care Leave and Pay Act 2023. So this will create a new statutory entitlement to neonatal leave and pay for employees whose babies spend an extended period of time in neonatal care. And that will be up to 12 weeks of paid leave. And that's in addition to any other statutory entitlements such as maternity and paternity leave that may apply. So regulations now have to be prepared from that Act. Those regulations will provide conditions for entitlement, including when an employee qualifies as having a parental relationship with the child. It will set the duration of leave. Again, we expect to be 12 weeks. We expect it to be a minimum of 1 week. And that leave must be taken within 68 weeks of the child's date of birth. It will define what's meant by neonatal care. It'll set out the employee's rights in terms of retaining existing terms and conditions while taking the leave and the right to return to work, again similar to the current maternity and paternity provisions. Makes provision for redundancy and dismissal of employees during or after a period of leave, so again that likely protection that will be afforded to employees who seek that leave. There may be special provisions in relation to an entitlement where there's more than one child, and it will prescribe the rate and duration of pay. The suggestion is that it will be exactly the same as statutory maternity and paternity pay, which is a statutory rate on 90% of earnings if earnings are below that rate. We expect April 2025 for implementation of this right, but again we wait further news on the regulations. The final piece of legislation is the Protection from Redundancy, Pregnancy and Family Leave Act 2023. So at present, any employee who is on maternity leave, adoption leave or shared parental leave and who is at risk of redundancy has special protection. So they have an automatic right to be offered any suitable vacancies ahead of other at-risk employees. So essentially jumping the queue, a bit of positive discrimination there. The proposal and the Act that has now received Royal Assent will extend that redundancy protection so that a woman is entitled to be offered a suitable alternative vacancy if her role is redundant from the date she notifies the employer in writing of the pregnancy to 6 months after the return from maternity leave. So it's not just the maternity leave period now, it's the period leading up to it and 6 months following, and that will be extended to similar types of leave such as adoption leave and shared parental leave. No idea on the implementation date for this. I would guess April 2025 in line with the neonatal pay changes as well. There's lots to come in the future. If you need any further information on these changes or anything else generally in employment law, please do get in touch. Visit the website chadwicklawrence.co.uk or email employmenthub@chadlaw.co.uk. Thank you.